Hey there, everybody. Welcome. This is Kim Snider. I am broadcasting from the international headquarters, I call it, of Sync to CRM, because my office is in my barn. My horse is outside, so hence the name, the international headquarters. I want to give you a big shout out to those of you who are joining us live for episode number 5 of Facebook Live with Kim Snider. But I know that the majority of people who watch this won't be live. You will end up watching it after the fact. So I also want to give you a big shout out as well and say thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. So today's topic is very meta, and what I mean by that is that we're going to be doing a Facebook Live about Facebook Live. So I'm going to tell you about some recently announced new features that are going to make Facebook Live way better. And I'm also going to give you a peek, like under the tent flaps, and explain to you how I am using Facebook Live here at Sync to CRM and some of the results that I've gotten. As I have started to mention this in a few different places, it's generated a lot of interest. I've gotten some phone calls and some questions, so I thought I would share it with Facebook Live. Why not, right? It's about that. I'm going to share how I combine these live broadcasts as well as my Facebook advertising in order to double my email list and increase my revenue 35% in just 1 month. So that's what's coming up. But before I get into the details, I want to make sure that you know about the cheat sheet. So there's no need for you to take notes or remember any of the exact details of any of this, because I know that most of you are doing something else right now. So that's why I create a cheat sheet each week with everything that I cover. Plus, this week there's some bonus material that isn't going to be covered on the broadcast and is only available in the cheat sheet. And this is the bonus material. 5 unique ways to use Facebook Live beyond just the basic dissemination of content like I'm doing now, or the very common Ask Me Anything format. So I've got 5 pretty cool ideas for you about different ways that you could use Facebook Live. Now, not that the way that I'm using it is bad or anything. It's just that people have come up with some pretty clever ways to use this new medium, and so I'll be sharing those as the bonus content in the cheat sheet. Okay. All right, so how do you get that cheat sheet? That's probably what you're wondering, especially if you're new to this broadcast. So rather than trying to remember everything, just go to sync2crm.com, and that's SYNC, then the number 2, and then crm.com/EP5, as in episode 5. sync2crm.com/EP and the number 5 to get the cheat sheet and the bonus materials. All right, so on to Facebook Live. I could ask, because I know that so many people will see this after the fact, if you have seen a Facebook Live broadcast yet. It would seem kind of silly since we're live, but it's not. But here's the more relevant question: have you done one yourself? And hope you've heard about it at least, right? Because it's kind of the big thing. In fact, Facebook has gone all in on live streaming video. In fact, if you believe the press, Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, is absolutely obsessed with making Facebook Live a success. And here's what that means to you. Facebook is the future. I absolutely positively believe that. And so when Facebook goes all in on something, you have to too. In the investment business, we call that following the smart money. So Facebook Live really hasn't been out and available to all of us for that long at all. And already, which is really encouraging, and also I think indicative of how much emphasis that Facebook is putting on this platform. And you got to think, if they think this is the future, you should too, right? So in just a very short amount of time, they have obviously gotten a lot of feedback from those people who are using it, and are coming out with 3 new features already that are going to make this Facebook Live platform way better. I mean, they are really, you know, when you hear them, they're the issues that go, yeah, duh, why didn't they do that up front? So the first one is that you are going to be able to broadcast with a friend. So, you know, you'll have like the split screen, me on one side and someone else on the other. I think, you know, I mean, think about how many podcasts get done in an interview format, right? So that's going to be really powerful, because for right now, we're just kind of stuck, right, with just this, you know, talking head sort of look. For right now. But another thing that they're doing, the second thing, is that you will be able to schedule your broadcasts in advance, and in much the way that you can with, say, GoToWebinar. Just, you know, as an example, before the broadcast starts, everyone will get held in a waiting room, right? You know, when you go to GoToWebinar and it says the broadcast will begin in, you know, in just a few moments, and then it sits there and it says waiting on presenter, and everybody, you know, that way when the presenter hits the start broadcast button, everybody's already there, and then boom, off it goes. Because one of the big problems with Facebook Live is that if I start it at noon, like this one, then it doesn't show up on my page as being available until noon. And then it takes a while for people to figure out that they can get on. And by then I'm already 3 minutes into my content. Well, if all you're doing is 3 or 4 minutes of content, then, you know, that's a big issue. Facebook's heard that. They're going to fix that. I think this is probably got GoToWebinar folks quaking in their boots, because I do believe in the not too distant future that this medium will probably make GoToWebinar and some of the others pretty redundant. So that's number 2. Scheduled broadcasts and waiting rooms. And then the number 3 feature, not so useful, but if you've ever done Google Hangouts, you know how they have like the ability to put mustaches and hats and masks on people. Who uses that for business? But like you know, kids maybe. Anyway, I don't know, that they're doing that too. So the ability to put a mask on. They've got some company that they bought a while ago that. Anyway, whatever. We don't care about number 3, but we care a lot about 1 and 2, right? Broadcasting with a friend, scheduled in advance, and a waiting room. Now, these features will not be live for quite a while unless you are one of those rarefied few, not me, who have one of the blue badge verified pages. They will get it almost immediately, but again, based on Facebook's stated commitment to Facebook Live, I would expect that these won't stay just out amongst the verified users for very long. Those are like their beta testers, the celebrity types, but as soon as they figure out that it's working and everybody likes it, boom, I suspect it will be live for all of us very soon. I just can't give you a date yet. Now, perhaps you're wondering why, besides that Facebook wants you to, should you be using Facebook Live for your business? I think that there are 3 reasons. One is that this format is really powerful because it is so personal. Video in general is powerful, because it gives you the opportunity to see someone and get a sense of them in a way that you can't do when all you're hearing is their voice, or even, even less through what they write. So video is powerful, but this is even more so because it's raw, right? I have no ability to edit. I swear I was watching one of these the other day, and the guy belched, and he was like, "Oh, excuse me," and like, what could you do? And I think people appreciate that aspect of it, the fact that you can see behind the scenes, there's no editing, generally we like show up how we are that day, which is not generally how we look in our press photos, right? And so that aspect of it here's what's so powerful about it. It creates a personal connection between you and I, right? And you just can't really get that any other way besides a face-to-face. So that's one reason to use Facebook Live. The number 2 reason is that you are getting free reach. And what I mean by that is that, again, because of its commitment, Facebook is giving preferential treatment to Facebook Live broadcasts in the newsfeed. Meaning, while you are broadcasting, they are showing it to a much larger percentage of your page's fans than any other type of post would get, by factors of 2 and 3x sometimes. And if they see engagement on the live broadcast, then not only that, but they will start to show it to other people who are not even fans, right? As a sort of a suggestion. So you're getting basically free, unpaid reach as a result of using, for now, by the way, I don't expect that to continue for too long, but for now, you get basically free reach. So that's big. And then the third thing, as you're about to hear, is is this ability to repurpose this content. So, the key to lead generation is to put out great content. And it's hard. I was talking about this in my group coaching just yesterday, right? It's really hard because in a way, what you're doing is you're fishing. You're trying to put out enough content that you can figure out what people are liking, what resonates with them, what strikes a chord. And the chances of you getting that right just with a single piece of content are pretty slim, right? And so you've got to put a lot out there. And most of us don't have time to do that. But the beauty of Facebook Live is it is live, right? And it is pretty quick. And so you can get some content out there, see how people react to it. And then when you have something that works, you repurpose it. And so rule number 3, or reason number 3 rather, is that this platform gives you a powerful way to create content that can then be repurposed. Now, so you may be wondering what that means or what that looks like. Here's how I am doing it. First, I do this broadcast, okay? Every Tuesday at noon Eastern time, here I am, okay? Some of you will watch live, some of you not. That's okay. So what happens next is in case you don't know, if you've never done it, so I'm broadcasting this on my iPhone. When I say finish, it will ask me, do I want to save the video to my camera roll? And I say yes. So now it's on my phone. And then I just plug my phone in, and now I have that video, which I can use for other things. So first thing that happens is Facebook itself posts this video on my page and continues to give it preferential treatment. I can then go in and edit. I can edit, I can add notes, I can add a title, almost like show notes for a podcast, which is what we do, any links that I mentioned, etc. So now you've got this nice video on your page that has lots of notes, and super high relevance, and Facebook loves it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, we typically will share this archive broadcast in our Facebook groups. We have two, the Facebook Ad Questions group, okay? And then, what next? Then, we take this video and we do some light editing, not heavy, but, taking out, things that are irrelevant, like, hey, are my comments working? Things like that. Adding some annotations, and then I create a blog post on my website that has this video embedded in it. So now I have some SEO, I have a good blog post, and then we also do the same. We take that same video and post it with notes, etc., on our YouTube channel. So right there, we've done like 6 or 7 things with this one simple broadcast that took me, I'm coming up on 20 minutes to get done. Was there some prep time in advance? Yes. But still, relative to creating, some epic written piece of content, it's pretty quick. Now, let's see. Two more things actually. What I will be doing very shortly with this is taking the audio and turning it into a podcast, okay? So it'll probably get maybe a little bit more polished, I think, in terms of the way I present, so that it makes sense on a podcast, but maybe not, who knows? Anyway, so that'll be yet another thing. And then the final thing is, once I post all those places, I sit and I watch. And then you can see if people start reacting to it. Is it getting a lot of likes? Is it getting a lot of shares? Is it getting a lot of comments? Right? And what you're looking for is a unicorn. And when you find a unicorn, meaning something that is starting to take off a little bit, then the very next thing that you do is you create an ad out of it and you pay, right, to extend that. Now, what happens though, the cool thing about that is we do that a lot with our blog posts, for example. In fact, that's part of the system that I teach in my group coaching, is that you create a fair number of content. You're out there fishing, looking for unicorns, and then when you find things that are working, you create ads to them, you boost those posts, basically, right? And then when you find one that's working, you scale it up. But basically what happens with Facebook Live is it's almost like you're getting a free boosted post. You don't have to pay for the boost, because when you do it this way, Facebook itself shows it to a lot more people enough that you can start to get a sense of whether it's working well, and only then start to create the ad. So it saves you some ad money if you do it that way. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. What have the results been? So I've been working the system now since about mid-May, and where I'm at now is I have doubled my email list. Again, this is a combination of Facebook Live, repurposing all the content, and then doing ads to the ones that are working well. I have doubled my email list and increased revenue, same, apples to apples, just on the products that I had when I started, 35% in 1 month. Those are pretty darn good results. Anybody's got to be happy with those. Now, I am about to go to questions, so if you have any of those, feel free. Now's the time to type them in, because there is a delay, and I would be happy to answer any that you have. And while you're doing that, just to let you know, there are a couple of caveats to the numbers that I just shared with you. Number one, those numbers were small to begin with. So it isn't like I doubled a list of 10,000 people. I did not, because really I just started the advertising on this product in mid-May. So we didn't really have a huge list to begin with, okay? So basically, what are the numbers? We went from 500 to 1,000, basically, in a month. But I think that's pretty good. Now, the bigger that list gets, the harder it is to double, obviously. But still, we're adding email addresses at a very good clip. And then my second caveat is that you just can't throw crap out there and on live and expect that you're going to get those sorts of results. it has to be valuable content, obviously, and you have to work at getting those results. But when you do the work, I think what our experience has shown so far is that using it this way is very fruitful and can produce some great business results for you. So again, I just want to remind you about our cheat sheet, so you don't have to, in case I'm watching the numbers, I see people coming and going. I know many of you have not seen this whole thing, so you can get the notes for the entire thing, including the bonus material that I am not covering, which are 5 unique ways to use Facebook Live, by going to sync2crm.com/EP5, as in episode 5. So sync and then the number 2 crm.com/EP, and again the number 5. Okay, that will get you the cheat sheet with all the bonus materials. All right. So let's see. Also, I want to tell you, if to make sure that I do this every week at this time. So tune in if you want to tune in live and ask questions. You can do that on Tuesdays at noon, and you do that from the Sync2CRM. For those of you watching after the fact, you do that from the Sync2CRM page on Facebook. You can just search for that. Also, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, the Facebook Ad Questions group, I hope you'll do that. It's a great place to get your Facebook questions answered. I also hope to, at some point, start posting more Facebook Lives, what I call in-between-episodes, term I stole from Tim Ferriss, and I'll post those over on the Facebook group. And again, that's Facebook Ad Questions. You can search for that as well. That's the name of the Facebook group. And I think that's it for now. So hopefully that helped, and you all got some good food for thought about how you might use Facebook in your business. If you have any questions at all about anything, I'm always happy to help. Catch me over at sync2crm.com or in the Facebook group. And that's it for now. I'm signing off. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.